Dave Keating now joins us from Brussels. Dave, good evening to you. Tell us more about what these sanctions actually entail.
Well, this is the EU pulling the trigger on a sanctions framework against Mali that they adopted in December. And it was that adoption of the framework and the accompanying condemnation of the ruling junta in Mali that really kicked things off in terms of a conflict between Mali and the EU and led to Mali asking the European military forces that are in Mali right now under this EU mission to leave. And that's what prompted Denmark to leave last month. And that has further escalated to the request by Mali that the French ambassador leave. So, if you will, the damage has already been done in terms of the adoption of the framework by the EU. It's hard to see how relations could get worse by the actual pulling of the trigger, but this is actually translating that framework into actual sanctions against 5 very high-ranking officials within the ruling junta, including, as you said, the serving prime minister, but also some of the people who are now serving in top levels of government who were very involved in that initial coup in August 2020. The EU basically has 2 main concerns about Mali right now. One is that this transitional government, which seized power in a coup, said that it was transitional. It was supposed to be transitional, and they said that they were going to hold free and fair elections. Those elections have not happened. There were supposed to be elections held this month. They've been canceled. And so this is the EU saying, basically committing to what it's been saying for the past year, that they will only support or only look the other way with this government as long as it really is transitional. But they need to hold elections. Now, the other concern the EU has is that the ruling junta in Mali is reportedly cooperating with the Russian contractor group, the Wagner Group. This is a paramilitary paramilitary force of Russians that are technically not connected to the Russian government. We don't know the degree of collaboration there between them. But the Wagner Group is also now the subject of sanctions from the EU. They have been since December. And so the big concern now is that this EU mission that's taking place in Mali could be accidentally arming and supporting the Wagner Group, which is the subject of EU sanctions.
And David, what are the implications of all of this for future EU military operations?
Yeah, this is the other context here, the shadow that's looming over the decision that the EU is going to have to make in the next month. Are they going to pull this mission out of Mali as the ruling junta is requesting? Because this has been pointed to as one of the very, very few examples of EU military cooperation active anywhere in the world outside of the framework of NATO. And this, of course, has been the big push of French President Emmanuel Macron, particularly right now as France holds the rotating presidency of the EU Council. He's been pushing this idea of strategic autonomy, that Europe needs to be able to conduct military missions without the United States, without NATO. This was one of the few examples of Europe actually doing that, and it is not going well, to say the least. And so the decision to pull out will have this pressure hanging over it, that this would be a big retreat for the larger idea of European military cooperation and European military competence, to be frank. So as defense ministers consider what to do here, it may be that for this larger reason, they will try to make this work however they can. But it is a big blow, and it was particularly a big blow last month when Denmark pulled out, even though France was asking them not to, again showing that it is still difficult for European countries to cooperate with one another militarily outside of that American-dominated framework that they are in with NATO.
Dave Keating in Brussels, thank you very much indeed.